What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans and military currently serving here in the United States of America. So it's kind of a holiday here, and the news is definitely slow. I don't know if that's the reason why it's slow, but regardless, we do have one news story, and it's interesting. It has to do with benchmarks versus the S22 Ultra versus the S21 Ultra, and then also a bunch of questions from you guys. So let's jump into the tech news. First story and only story of the day before we get into the questions, like I said, is about the Snapdragon 898 benchmark versus the benchmark we've got on the Galaxy S21 Ultra with a Snapdragon 888. Now I want you to know first and foremost that the benchmark scores that we're seeing with the 898, these are not finalized. Nothing's final. The software is not finalized. The processor is probably really not completely finalized. So the scores we're seeing, they are lower, at least in multi-core score, versus what we got with the Snapdragon 888. So I want you to keep that in mind, so don't freak out, but it is kind of telling and interesting how low the score is comparatively speaking. So let's first talk about the score that we got with the Snapdragon 888. And we can see that the Snapdragon 888, this is on the S21 Plus, but still, it's basically the same phone, albeit, you know, slightly lower resolution on the screen and then less RAM potentially, but ultimately the same the processor. So score of 966 on the single core. Now, when we get to the multi-core score, you're looking at a score of 3044. Again, that's for the S21 Plus. They just, for whatever reason, didn't do the Ultra version of that phone on this site. And when we pull up this Sam Mobile article showing that the Snapdragon-based S22 Plus for the USA runs better in the latest benchmark. Check this out. Again, this would be the Snapdragon 898. Gets a score of 1163, so it beat it in the single core, but it lost on the multi-core score. It got 2728. And hopefully the scores will definitely increase, and I expect they will, because this is a newer, potentially more powerful processor. But it's a bit of a turnoff for sure. Like thinking like, and I've said it in some previous videos, especially one that I did recently, about things not to expect from the S22 series of phones, especially the Ultra version. Like, I don't expect to see huge performance gains, if any, really, versus last year's processors. Maybe I do expect a little bit, but nothing crazy, nothing monumental. And it's like, have we plateaued? Has Snapdragon really plateaued? Has Qualcomm reached a point where they don't offer any really performance boost? And it's not like we really need it. Phones run amazing right now. And I think the thing that we need better is like amazing battery, like battery that lasts 24 hours, battery, like that should be the next goal. Is like, we have these phones that can do so much and they run really well and they perform really well, but the batteries, it's a mixed bag. I'll get, 4 hours, you might get 8 hours. Why can't we just get 24 hours? Why can't they improve the battery technology with the newer technologies that potentially could be out for that? But yeah, kind of interesting to see that the Galaxy S21 Plus / Ultra, whatever you want to call it, because it uses the same processor, the 888, versus the S22 Plus / Ultra using the 898. The new one has basically, especially on the multi-core, worse scores. So let me know what you think about that. How does that make you feel? Do you think we'll see a big performance boost as we get closer to the release date, which should be in February, first week, second week of February? Let me know in the comments down below. With that said, let's jump into the Q&A portion of the video and drop that beat. First question of the day comes from Sharjeel Shahzad saying, what would be your color choice for the S22 Ultra? I miss would-be red and green is my least favorite. Another question, I know you're married to the Galaxy Z Fold. Would you switch to the S22 Ultra as your primary phone? If not, what would convince you to switch to a candy bar phone? So to answer your question, I probably would get the red one for the S22 Ultra if I can, if it's, meets all my requirements for storage and RAM and stuff like that. I haven't had a red phone in a while, so I think I'd go red. I probably won't, but I'm pretty sure I would. To go on to what would switch me to a candy bar phone is really difficult to have me do it. It would have to, if it would be the S22 Ultra, the camera would have to absolutely blow me away, like the Pixel camera kind of does. And it would also have to, I don't think it could. I really don't think it could. I'd have to have a completely flat display too, because these curved displays, they're just a little bit too skinny. I want it to be wider. I just don't think it's gonna happen. Phil PJ Davis, at what tier level views or subscribers does YouTube start paying you, and how much? Where can I find creators pay scale? So you get paid they'll send a check every $100, and then you start to get paid after 1,000 subscribers, and I think it's like 12,500 hours of view time or something like that. If you just search YouTube monetization on Google, and it's probably the first link, it should tell you everything about it, but it's fairly lofty. You have to at least have 1,000 subscribers. You at least have to average it within a year of 365 days. I think, again, it's like 12,000 hours of view time or something like that. And then you could potentially get invited to the program and then start getting paid. Darshan Shah, why Samsung doesn't use 12 gigs of RAM on their tablets? Is it probably the reason why their tabs score less in multi-core score? Obviously I think they don't do it because it helps them reduce the cost of the tablets and keep them a little bit more reasonable. Also, the fact that they don't have to, I mean, they can, but they generally probably don't need to receive phone calls and texts and things like that, and they're really just used as media consumption devices. That's probably another reason that they don't throw in 12 gigabytes of RAM. And plus, 8 gigabytes of RAM is a fair amount of RAM in there for most actions of what most people do. And I haven't really noticed, I don't use one all the time, but I haven't noticed a lot of slowdown with tablets on Samsung. So it probably just isn't necessary. But Buddhist Elder, do you think, in your opinion, the S22 Ultra will sell much better than the S21 Ultra, since this is just an S21 Ultra successor and not the beast incarnate? I do think the S22 Ultra is going to sell very, very well, because I actually do consider it a Note replacement. I think that's the way they're going to sell it. They might even add the word S Note or something to it. I wouldn't be surprised. But I think this is going to be a big time seller for them, for sure. Neil, I feel like I have to start Google Assistant and the voice activation each time I restart my phone, the Fold 3. Why is this, and is there a way to stop the need for Google Assistant to restart? Thank you for addressing this with me. I don't have that issue, and I haven't heard anybody else that has the issue, but a really simple fix, if you want to call it a fix, is to go to the app on your phone, find the Google Assistant app, which is right here. Just press and hold it, and then go into the eye in the top right, and then go to where it says storage, and then at the bottom there, you should be able to clear the data. It's not allowing, I don't think it's allowing me. Let me see. Yeah, it doesn't allow me. Maybe you can't. I would guess if you can, I don't even think you can delete it actually. You can't, huh? You might have to wait for an update. I don't have that issue, unfortunately. I'm not sure what you should do, because usually I say clear the storage, clear the data. If you can uninstall it, and then reinstall it. If you can't do that, you might have to wait for an update. I'm not sure I have a fix for you, unfortunately. Graham Sanders just had the latest update on my Z Fold 3, and there's now 2 arrow notification on my screen, which gets in the way when using my keyboard, so I can't type letters it covers. Is there a way to remove it? Thanks again for your informative videos, Graham UK. I'm actually not sure what you mean by those 2 arrows. I would love to see a screenshot, Graham. So if you're on Twitter, send me a tweet, and I'll see if I can fix that for you, because I'm not totally sure what you mean by that. Or even on Instagram, both places I'm Greggles TV. New York's finest, would you recommend us getting the Note 20 Ultra or the S22 Ultra? Should we wait for the S22 Ultra so that it drops the price of the Note 20 Ultra? Lastly, I just heard that the Note 10 Plus is only getting more software updates, then it won't be getting any more software updates. Is this true? If this is the case, this is a no-brainer to get rid of the Note 10 Plus. Thank you for your honest opinions. I would not recommend anyone to get the Note 20 Ultra, especially with the S22 Ultra coming out so soon, and it's basically going to be 2 years. The Note 20 Ultra is like 2 years old now, more or less. So I wouldn't tell you anyone to get that. I'd tell you to get the S22 Ultra. And then to answer the other question, Note 10 Plus getting updates. I haven't really dove too deep into that, if it's getting updates and when, but that phone's even older. So you're looking at the end of its life cycle, at least for updates in terms of like not security updates. It'll probably get a couple more years, but like real updates for the software to give you features and stuff, that's at its end of its life cycle, so it's another reason to upgrade. And our last question of the day comes from Bo Knows. I have a Note 20 Ultra. If you were me, what phone would you get next? Would you get something currently available, or wait a bit, I do really like what I have, keep crushing it? Bo, thank you so much. I love the Z Fold line. I think it's such an interesting device. I think if you I say give that phone a chance. you can return it. You get 2 weeks or something through Samsung to return it. That's where I'd buy it, and I have it linked down. I'll have it linked down below for you. That anytime you shop through that link, it'll help support my channel, and you still pay the same price and all, and get all the same good deals. So I'd say try that. Otherwise, if you don't want a folding phone, I'd say get the S22 Ultra next. I think that's the next best phone to get, especially because you seem like you're a big S Pen user and it's got the integration for it, so I think that's a good deal right there. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you for your questions. If you have a question, leave it in the comments down below with the word question, and I'll answer it tomorrow. Have a great day. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans again, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.